There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We judge it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Foreign people who waiting to sell. The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The project is giving us here and the purpose of them. The work with my life without fear.
A lyrical healthy
Master.
Clear police who make on you. I can't Sktv-Lib. Say my journey, Tina can I say my yamo. And yes, I know money. And more I know. And you love our money. More I know what it is.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
And I didn't ya to money. And I said ya to money. And I wanna play ya to money. And I could do ya to money. And I didn't ya to money. And I said ya to money. And I wanna play ya to money. And I could do ya to money. And I don't get it now ya to money. That's the baby. And I don't get it now. Cause you work on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talk it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Foreign people who waiting to sell. The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving a real and the promise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside, River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Cape Mount, Montserrat, San to Bacalu, from Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
Happening is this: that the Mother Church is the church of order. This does not take decision. This does not take decision for the church. Okay, we pass a resolution before we the general conference. We are going to the general conference. After the general conference, what order will be discussed there, we'll come back to join the conference. So then the conference will know if there is on the decision of the general conference. But I'm not surprised we give for the general conference. Bishop does not want to call for the special session. If I see around with regionalization, what is regionalization coming from? We have heard disappointed in Bishop. Any person that stay against this demonic act of regionalization. Because the regionalization is the cover of a gay right. Any person that preach against it, he gave him suspension. Why you do that? We have heard disappointed here. That's why we are here to say message. So he ain't just that. He is not Bishop.
You people always accuse
in my church, do you remember Pastor Elijah died? Pastor Elijah is no pastor. He gave his confession speaking the truth. Speaking the truth. We can't give the homosexuality. That's the reason he suspended my pastor. That's my pastor. All the other pastors like this, he suspended them.
Let's keep going with the suspended pastor. I think I know you. You want to talk to us, sir?
Yes.
So he is one of those in relation to your question I was suspended.
Thank you.
He has been alleged that was suspended.
Yes, he suspended it did not just stop here. When video allegation was passed and sex marriage became lifted, I took my time to go to the fire office to let him know that what has been passed or lifted is demonic.
I'm very sorry. I'm very to say.
And I will not support this or satanic scheme. As Bishop Fire, what is the political foundation of regionalization? Bishop Fire could not prove to me as a theologian, as a schoolmate, a classmate from West African theology, yeah, for his age, he told us, I'm Reverend T. Jackson. I went to his office. I asked him, Bishop, what is the theological and biblical foundation of regionalization? He could not convince me. His son, his classmate, his schoolmate from West African theological seminary. So he said, oh, yeah, it's just about different theology and this one. I said, no, I want you to know from today. I'm going to teach and expose my church to satanic regionalization. Because I was speaking to the church, and the church has grasped it. It's suspended me. What suspended is black. They tell the magistrate, they were trash. They told the first place we went, they were trash. Now they're running to the civil law court. They will be.
Well. So that the United Methodist Church members, yes, they were seen today protesting again. Let us say continue. Well, folks, a wonderful way to welcome all of you. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, sometimes we gotta start with a little slow motion. Especially when you watch, you listen to a lot of things. Then you can be thinking as to what happening as a country, what going on within our society, and so forth. But again, good evening, though. Don't mind. We stay strong. We stay moving very, very strong. But we'll play that. We will continue with that recording coming from the United Methodist Church. But again, this is the SK TV show this evening. And today is Tuesday. Wow. Tuesday, the 3rd of December. That's great, though. Good evening and welcome. This is, I would like to welcome all of you. No time to waste. We have some students been knocking on our door, especially when it comes to their scholarship and so forth. And through our head, liability also who been one of the strong admirer of this show. And also, say maybe reach out to Seku and the team and please allow the team, the students to come up from Linsu. So no time to waste. Let me see how best to get them on camera. Yeah, so indeed, after that, that will be our first segment. After that, we continue with our show up to 8 o'clock. And trust me, at 7, as usual, we'll go for the news break, which is the news bulletin. But compliment of the season to all of you, Elizabeth Bowen, Jay Bayoga, Joe, Rebecca Garcia, Mustafa Balu, and all of you, may compliment of the season. We already into the festive season. There are a lot of news, but we'll talk about the news in our second segment. But again, I'm Johnson Mabukula. Share the show. Those of you who just joining us, please share the show today. We're starting the show like this with students, awareness and scholarship and so forth. Today, we're not starting to, that I'm embarrassing. I say today will be hot. So, my Binta Bedete, all of you, let me say good evening. Indeed, you people are the backbone for the SKTV show, making sure that you always with us, and giving us all of your support and so forth. So again, let me say good evening to all of you, man. Binta Bedete, Yumutu Asadu Mesa, Ubago. Look, Labro Wahala get finished. By the way, we're going to go into Labro Wahala doing a second segment, which of course we have a lot of recordings and so forth in our possessions, even with the latest one coming from Senator Davos Dillon, that country is indeed interesting. But let's move on now. Let's leave politics a little bit and move on with the students from Linsu. First of all, gentlemen, let me say good evening to the two of you in there. I don't know what you people getting me?
Yeah, sure. We get it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, Thomas T. Halley and other Ramin Yumi. I hope I get a name right, but again, good evening and let me say welcome to SKTV.
So thank you. It's a pleasure being here in your Air Cozy studio. And we want to say thanks also for allowing us to use this platform to be able to share our thoughts on a few of the events and, of course, the topic that we will be discussing today, which will be discussed in the near possible time after our introduction. So thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
So I think I am a familiar face on this platform because
Sometimes when you come now, you come with political jacket, but this one, I think you are not coming like.
yes,
whether
yeah, sure. So this particular appearance is squarely schooling related. Yeah, so like you stated, I am Remy Yomi. I am an analyst of the 6th post-war leadership at the Liberal National Student Union under the auspices of the newly elected president, James Tatishan Blee, and it's a pleasure to sit on this reputable platform to discuss issues involving students and how we can institute policies to foster productivity in the youth and student community of Liberia.
Wonderful. That's great. So to those of you who just joining us, I think you just listen or if you've been following us, that's the these are our guests. They come from Linsu. And today we will be talking about the scholarship of the digital bridge, enhancing peace building and gender advocacy through technology and so forth. So on today they will be explaining about that to us as people and all of these things that will be happening. So, gentlemen, no time to waste. Let's move on now with the role of technology in peace building.
Okay, so thank you again. And if you can see from the site, those who are witnessing, you will see Youth Peace Initiative, Youth Peace Building Initiative, YPR. So this is a program that is being implemented by the Liberia National Student Union and supported by the Liberia, the YMCA, the Young Men Christian Association, and of course we are discussing. We have been having some conversations around the issue of peace building, technology in peace building, technology in advocacy, and all of that. So today's segment, and mind you, we have 3 days, right? So 3 days. Today, which is Tuesday, we'll be talking about the role of technology in peace building. That's our focus today. On Thursday, we'll talk about the role of technology in advocacy. And on Saturday, which will be the last segment, and thanks to your magnanimity for building us the platform, we'll be talking about, we'll be summarizing all of the 3 things that we're supposed to talk about on a general scale. So, firstly, this show is being implemented. This program is being implemented by the student hour, is being implemented by the Liberia National Student Union, the 6th post-war elective congress of the Liberia National Student Union that is about to be inaugurated into office, headed by its president, James Tatishan Washington Gwiri, and the code of officers. And of course, the program is sponsored or is partnered with the YMCA. So we are talking about bridge and technology in all of these things, technology in peace building, all of that. So first of all, let's know what is the role of technology in peace building, because most students we see around, they don't really understand the usage of technology and all of that. So in our wisdom, as the 6th post-war leadership of the Liberia National Student Union, we want to firstly make students, all Liberian students around the world, to understand the use of technology in these major issues. When we're looking at peace building, looking at advocacy, and you're looking at all of that, these are some of the things that students, agitate for peace. You see students on campus protesting for all of things. You see students doing 1 or 2, agitation, all of that. Sometimes these things can be channeled diplomatically, and it can be used, it can be channeled through peace, through the technology. So we want to make them to understand the role of these things. So firstly, let me make you to understand the role of technology in peace. My colleague will join me so that we can have this conversation. So first of all, technology plays a transformative role in peace building. That's the first thing we should know. It enhances communication, it enhances fostering inclusion, it promotes understanding, it improves conflict resolution processes, and all of that. So a few aspects of the impact of technology in peace building are enhancing communication, like I said, and connectivity. It also foster inclusion and also promote understanding and counter misinformation. It facilitates conflict resolution. It also builds resilient communities, and it monitors with accountability, right? So there are a few things that these are some of the things that technology does when it comes to helping to build peace and all of that. But it's a lot of explanation on that. But I will allow my colleague Remy Yomin to come in with his intro and all of that. Then we will go deeply into the nitty-gritty of this topic.
Wonderful. Yes, so?
Yeah, so basically, what I want our audience to know is this particular program, as Thomas stated in his exposition, or I may say his extension, is under the auspices of the 6th Post-War Leadership at the Liberal National Student Union, and it is under the banner Digital Bridge, Enhancing Peace Building and Gender Advocacy through Technology. That is to say, how can we use technology to conduct our advocacies? How can we use technology to raise awareness in society that will promote peace and stability amongst people? So basically, I think it is important that our audience know what peace building is. Like somebody may wonder, they're trying to talk about peace building, they are measuring peace building. The discussion of today is centered around peace building. What is this peace building? So peace building in its fullness can be referred to as creating and maintaining peace within an institution, a group of people, or our society. Now, the aspect of peace plays a pivotal role in the transformation of every society. If there is a civil unrest, you observe that society will not flourish, it will not blossom, it will not thrive. In order for a society to thrive, in order for a society to flourish, there must be peace and stability amongst its constituents. So peace, as I stated, is when we are able, peace building is when we are able to create peace, and not just to create that peace, but we are able to maintain peace. So who are those that share such responsibility to ensure that such peace coexists in the society? Now, peace building is a whole big process. And like Thomas said, the responsibility of ensuring that we have such in our society is something that our communities, dwellers, constituents within various counties must shoulder. Now, peace building, like I said, is very pivotal, like I said, right? So we as a constituents, or we as the individuals that are residing within an institution or a community, must make it our prime responsibility, our sole responsibility, to ensure that we are able to intervene, we are able to swiftly intervene in a situation that has the propensity of undermining the peace and stability of that era. We should be able to put ourselves in the position to be able to address commotion and conflict amongst community dwellers and people that are residing within our society. So I want our audience to know that this peace building we are referring to, or this peace building we are talking about through technology, is something that we all need to prioritize. It's something that we all need to make our primary responsibility in order to have a better society. Like I said, it is our responsibility, we as a constituents within the society, to ensure that we foster activities that will promote peace and stability using technology. So basically, if you look at the society, right, there are diverse of grouping, right? Most of the primary indicators that have resulted into commotion and civil unrest in our society are things that range from religious disparity, like the Muslims, the Christians. They want to showcase or display religion dominion and religious supremacy. So we always observe that from this angle, from these indicators, there are always unrest, there are always violence, there are always commotion. So if we are experiencing such in our society, what can we do as a citizen to ensure that we intervene to address or redress such? And how can we do it? So what we want people to know, what we want the audience to know, is that this particular thing that has been confronting our society, that is civil unrest, commotion, disruption, interference of each other, right? can be addressed, can be mitigated, can be prevented by technological means or through using technology. So I think Thomas will drill us a little bit on how can we use
Yes,
how
good.
can we use technology to
Good.
address or raise awareness on peace building.
Mhm.
Then from that angle, I'll be able to portray us a little bit.
Yes, so that's great. So Thomas, I think before you come on, sometimes we misuse technology and so forth, and I know that you come into that, but how can we maybe, someone will say, positively use technology in resolving all of these things that you were talking about?
So before I give Remy Yomin the time to have conversation on the introduction of this topic and all of that, I outlined 3 ways we can use 3 roles technology plays in maintaining peace and all of that. How we use technology. First of all, I talk about enhancing communication, connectivity, right? So if you have digital platforms, social media, messaging apps, and online forums, it allows individuals to group information, express grievances, and collaborate across border. That's one way you use technology, right? So technology also, like you have the early warning signs, the early warning system, technology like mobile network. We have satellite monitoring. It enable timely reporting of potential conflicts and threats to help prevent escalations, right? Like for example, we have Facebook, we have even the radio. Do you know that the radio uses technology and all of that? You have the frequency and everything. These are technologies, right? So if you use Facebook, you use all the social media apps that are used for messaging people and all of that, messengers, WhatsApp and everything. These apps can be used to give early warning signs to people. For typical example, we have a conflict right here in Dupont Road, where the station is currently located, right? And there are people on the main street throwing rocks, sending coalesces, shooting arms and everything. And at the end of the day, you'll see people. If you see people gather around, the next man in red light or some part of Dupont Road that is a little bit far from this place may not understand what is going on here in Dupont Road at this particular place where the station is. But if you use Facebook to go live, right, and tell people, say, oh, there are things happening here in SYC, this is the reason why it is happening and everything and all of that, this can be able to curtail misinformation and to tell people, say, this is the main thing that is happening, to curtail, the issue of escalation. Because if people do not know what is happening, they are not abreast with the information. They can take about themselves and say, okay, we're going there to go to our own tool, we're going to go escalate the issue and all of that. And also the issue of diaspora connections, diaspora engagement. Technology connect diaspora with their home communities, allowing them to contribute to peace building through advocacy and resource mobilization. Right? Sometimes there are peace campaigns. There are other things you want to do. But because people in America and people in other parts of the world, like our own Ghanaian brothers who were in Ghana during the Butumbura time and everything, how were they being engaged with the happenings on ground during the Liberian Civil War? It was through technology, through televisions, and later on Facebook came up and started informing them about the peace building process of Liberia. So for them to be able to help Liberia by maybe with resources and all of that, they needed to be informed with what's happening on ground. That's the first thing. And we also talk about fostering inclusion. How technology foster inclusion, right? So if you get access to marginalized voices, people can say, oh, my voice is not being heard. My voice is not being heard. People are not listening to me. But technology empowers marginalized groups. Technology by itself empowers marginalized groups. For example, you're talking about women. You're talking about youth. These are people who use technology to participate in peace processes, digital campaigns, online petitions, virtual conferences. These days, if you see around the world, there are people who people don't normally travel these days ordinarily like that, just to go in another country for conferences and all of that. So you will see what happens is that people will have a virtual and online where you got Skype, you got there are a few of the online platforms that people can use to have meetings.
Yes,
campaigns, internet campaigns. Women can say there's a common example we got for young people on Facebook, the hashtag not too young to lead. This is a social media campaign that is being instituted through social media, through technology. Not too young to lead. Anyone who see that hashtag, not too young to lead, in those street you're talking about, young people are not too young to have positions in government. Young people are not too young to be included in all of these processes that we're talking about, and peace building and all of that. So even for the women, the stop rape, right? Stop rape campaign or end rape, end this, end that. This we use technology. So you can sit right to your horse, you go on Facebook or you go on LinkedIn, you go on Skype, you go on other social media platforms, and you see people talking about stop rape and inequalities, gender equity, all of that. Peace building, no more war, we want peace. All of that, these are hashtags that are used on the social media platform to help peace building efforts. We also look at the issue of language translation tools. Language translation tools, these are tools that help curtail linguistic barriers, making peace talks and negotiations more inclusive and accessible. Now if you go on Facebook, there's a part of Facebook called translation.
Yes.
So if somebody says something on Facebook and you want it to be translated, you can just click that translation and translate right away. So for example, if there's a war in Syria or there's a war in, I want to name the French speaking countries.
Maybe Africa.
Africa. There's a war or there's a conflict in Africa that may escalate or other places, right? If somebody posts on Facebook and say, in the war in Sierra Leone or the gift or in Africa or the give an outline or why this war is in Africa and all of that, you can just use Facebook, click on translate, it translates and you see what's happening in Sierra Leone and it gives you a clear detail and a synopsis of what's happening. So social media has been able to help us to fight, to help peace building processes through translation of languages and any language barrier. And before quickly I conclude on this note, we look at the issue of promoting understanding and countering misinformation. Promoting understanding and countering misinformation. If you look at the media literacy campaigns, technology has been able to facilitate campaigns to educate the public on detecting fake news, thereby reducing spread of deceptive propaganda. We all know propaganda holistically is misinformation and all of that. So storytelling platform, you can use tools as podcasts, you use tools like blogs, social media blogs, you use video platform that allow community to share personal narrative, fostering empathy and understanding. A typical example of that, what we have now, we get something called internews in Liberia. Right? Internews can be able to help. Now, if you sit on the radio, the way I'm sitting on the radio, so Thomas Federali is on the radio, he's talking. If I lie or I do not say the truth, internews or another news agency or some technology can come out and say, no, this man is saying lie because they did a background research. These days, if you post Facebook on Facebook, let me say if you post photo on Facebook that is not factual, that is not true, there's an app or there are social media tools that can be used. I think Remy was in one of those classes and he learned a lot about it.
Yes, because
they will use that tools and they will put their photo in these tools and say, is this photo real? Did it happen so and so time that a person who posted say it happened? Did they use so and so thing? So for example, if common example where we have the crime and the guilt people doing the war, they were a local here, right? So if it was the time of social media, social media advancement or where social media was powerful and everything is the conflict. Somebody take on a photo, crop it, post somebody in Nima County slaughtering people and all of that. And if it was the time where social media is very advanced, you can take that photo, put it in a tools. And the tools will tell you if this photo is real or this photo is fake, when this photo was taken, how was it taken, everything. Through that, you can be able to know if this is a misinformation, if this is a propaganda, or if this is a disinformation. These are all the impact of technology when it comes to helping in peace building processes and all of that. And one more thing again, social media technology help us to facilitate conflict resolution. Online platform, it help us as mediators and stakeholders. Like for common example, I said, you can sit down to your house and get online with people in India, get online with people in Myanmar, get online with people all over, and we can have a common conversation. And maybe you don't want to meet this man. This man is your enemy, or this man, you and me have been in conflict for long, or this tribe has been in conflict. You don't want to meet physically. You can sit down right in your platform, in your houses, and use social media and use technology to curtail the punishment, those processes and all of that. Monitoring and accountability. building resilient communities. There are social media platforms now they got. There's a platform called blockchain. Blockchain is a medium wherein you have people set up a system. I get this in my computer. I do, a background check on everything that's happening is in my computer. They may do a data breach. They may do everything. Blockchain collects all of those data and get a comprehensive one of it and give a clear format. Typical example of the way the podcast is given, the weather podcast and all of that. It's the same way blockchain works. They can use real first-hand data to tell if this conflict is in this place. There's a conflict in this place. How can it be curtailed? How many people have lost their life? How many people are on the rampage? XYZ. So these are all social media platforms that are used or technology, true technology, to curtail, peace building, to help peace building processes, to do all of that. But we'll come to challenges there are also challenges in it. We'll come to it and all of that. So let me just pause here for now, and maybe Remy will want to add up and all of that.
Yes, let Remy add up and start with the social media campaigns for peace gaming or for conflict awareness, and also to where Fanny, you were talking about the tools. Also, yes, indeed, the tools lack.
I'm actually not getting you, so if you can put my headphone on, it'll be great.
All right, who not getting me?
Thomas is not getting you.
All right, so I'm talking about, in fact, I'm talking to Remy. So
okay.
Yeah. Wait, getting me now?
Yeah, I get you. Maybe go. Yeah, you're asking something.
So I'm not talking about the tools that have been used, like maybe for social media. You want to tell or you want to explain some of the tools to us before maybe first starting some of the things your brother was saying.
Yeah. To add on to what Thomas was saying, I just want to begin with a practical example. I do have an experience where I was able to participate in a training that was conducted by a regional institution called Dumawa from Ghana. They where they have their head office. So basically, there were a lot of things that was taught within our entire training processes, ranging from countering misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation. Now, if you look at the world globally, there has been a stats that says misinformation has more dangerous effect than even climate change because it has the propensity to undermine and destabilize our entire society. So basically, this peace building we are discussing on here and technology is one of the most easily accessible way to raise public awareness. Like Thomas gave a practical example, a practical scenario. If there is a scene in Duporo that involve violence and commotion, and then you have another person that is residing in New Jersey, how would that person be able to identify or know that in Duporo there is a scene that is involving a violence and commotion? There is a scene that is involving brutalization of individuals. It is through the usage of technology. If you have a situation where there is an earthquake, maybe in Asia, and then you are residing within Liberia, how will you be able to identify that there is a natural phenomenon that is resulting into a mass destruction of human life and properties? It is through technology. So this emphasize and stress on the importance of technology globally in the world. How technology has not just modernized the world, but has enabled people across the world to be able to access information, adequate information that are necessary in order to thrive a society. So basically, I will cut down the truth and just name some of those means, those basic means that we use in technology to be able to raise awareness that are involving commotion or violence or that may need a swift intervention in order to be resolved, right? So we have the digital media, right? So the digital media include platforms like the Facebook, like the WhatsApp, like the Instagram, like the Snapchat, the TikTok. So basically, these are all platforms that are squarely involving technology, or these are all technological platforms. So this platform can be used to raise awareness. This platform can be used to raise awareness, to conduct an advocacy on particular issues that are affecting maybe a group of people or institution at large, right? So we use Facebook. We use Facebook to convey a peace message. Maybe we have a scene that is affecting our community. we go on our Facebook page, we write about that particular situation, and then we encourage the government or the institution that are responsible to address such situation to speedily intervene in order to address it. So that is a practical means of using a technological platform in order to conduct an advocacy, to initiate an advocacy that require peace and stability or promoting peace and stability. We also use our WhatsApp platform. You post on WhatsApp involving situations of violence, of commotion, of disruption, of interference of people's rights. And that message, that particular post convey a message not just within your region, but within region across where you are residing. People in America can see and Melbourne WhatsApp status and know what is exactly unfolding in Liberia. What are those irregularities that are being orchestrated by a specific group of people in Liberia that need a speedy intervention? Look at Pakistani war. How were people across the world were able to understand and identify that there is a civil unrest in Pakistan? It is through technological platform. It is through Facebook. It is through WhatsApp. It is through Instagram. So basically, we use digital platform, digitalization, in order to promote peace and stability, in order to initiate, to petition, or to carry on an awareness that is bent towards ensuring that the rights of the people within that society is prioritized, right? So we say we use our Facebook platform, we use our WhatsApp platform, we use Snapchat, we use TikTok in order to conduct or institute an advocacy, right? So unlike digital platform, we also use geographical information system that Thomas was saying. We can be where you use app called map reading to know what is happening at a specific location and who are those that are orchestrating such app, and that is squarely technology. So we also use, unlike that, we also use robotic drones. If you put a drone here, you know almost everything that is happening across Montserrat County. And people across Montserrat, in other parts of Liberia, I mean in other counties, will be able to know what is happening in that particular area within Montserrat County. Even people across Liberia, people across our region will be able to know what is happening within that environment. So robotic drones are also indicators. These are tools that are used to initiate conversations that are involving peace building within our society or within a particular area, right? So like I said, some of those platforms that I use, or some of those platforms that we can use in order to initiate these advocacies that are involving peace building, or in order to carry on petitions, are digital media. Like you use your Facebook page, like you use a WhatsApp page, like you use TikTok, you use Snapchat to initiate a conversation in order to raise a public awareness on a particular issues that are affecting maybe the masses of the people within that area. Unlike that, we use a robotic drone in order not just to provide tips or synopsis on a particular information, but in order to be able to create that avenue, that mechanism for people across the world to access certain information regarding our society or our country at large. So we use, like I said, we use the geographical information system to identify location and what is happening in a particular location. So these are basic tools. These are basic instruments. These are basic tenets that are used in technology to promote peace and stability, to initiate conversation associated with peace, to carry on advocacies and petition. So I may rest where so that you can be able to fast forward.
Yes, indeed. So, gentlemen, let me say many thanks to all of you. Indeed, I'm really enjoying the conversation, and I hope and pray that all of our listeners out there, especially those from the student community, will also understand that indeed this is a great initiative coming from Links to and Liberia National Student Union, and sponsored by I see UP's you got to help me though.
So yeah, so we like you were saying, This is a program. This is a program that is in partnership with UNFPA,
Okay,
in
because
partnership with YMCA. And mind you,
good because
Mhm.
there are so many questions now I'll be asking, and some of the questions will be like, there are a lot of students following, and most often people see students as people who always maybe wrongly using the social media,
Mhm.
causing chaos and wrong posting, and instead of doing research, they are not using it the right way. So
Mhm.
I guess that moving forward, they be heavy load now on your head because people
Mhm.
be calling you the entire team. They want to know exactly as to how long you people are going to continue with this and all
Mhm.
of the awareness. And because this is a great initiative. So, guys, now move on. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So quickly before you
Mm,
you go to the next question
mm,
or so, and this is something that we need to focus on more because a lot of this in Liberia, there are too many peace building awareness programs,
mm,
peace building this and all of that. We even have the peace building office of Liberia, but
yes, indeed.
sometimes we overlook
Mm,
the pivotal tool that is used,
mm.
that should be used to help informed young people or to train young people on how can we use it to be. You every day you say student protesting, student doing this,
Yeah,
student
because
doing that,
I
but
can remember
sometimes
when you hear
we
the
do
one
not.
time the comment that were coming now, the one I'm
so
seeing, I'm just
so
surprised.
so the student community is a diverse background,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And this is one means that we
Mm,
can use not only for students to use social media for XYZ,
mm,
but you have people at UNFPA, right?
mm,
These are peace building. This is a peace building NGO, UN back organization.
mm,
You have the peace building office. The peace building office. You have UN Women, right? These are people who we are calling on to support such program to be able to tell, because social media or technology
mm.
is the biggest tool
Oh, yes.
that is used right now around the world. Anyway, I tell you, Melbourne, the last time the internet was locked down for about 6-7 hours,
Yes, indeed.
you know what happened? The whole world was at a standstill.
Mhm.
It was not just the entire internet, though. There were just a few apps on the internet, like Facebook and all of that, and WhatsApp and everything. But people were still using VPN
Yeah, to Baba,
to
maybe
bypass, right?
to
So
get internet
let's
access.
take for typical example, if the entire internet, wherein you will not have the opportunity to use VPN, you will not have the opportunity to use Facebook, you will not have the opportunity to use all social media apps. This internet, the entire internet technology system, the entire technology system around the world, you will not use smartphone. The way you will not call from here to your house. You will not call from here America. You will not call, you will not use computer. You will not have the television. You will not have anything. So going back to ancient days, just tell me, how would the world be? How would the world be? So there are other programs that Linsu want to take on initiative to
Yeah,
help
some people
educate,
because Thomas and
yeah.
all of Remy
Mm-hmm.
protesting, the students body protesting every time, and what the kind of more initiatives, when you people coming up to the media and explaining them
So
that yeah, so go ahead.
so Linsu is the mother organization.
Mm,
The Liberian National
mm,
Student Union is
yeah.
the mother organization
Mm,
for all students, all Liberian students around the world, right? So it is our monumental responsibility to be able to educate our students, our members, because so long you are a Liberian student, you automatically become a member of the Liberian National Student Union. So it is our monumental responsibility to educate ourselves and our colleagues on what needs to be done in the modern time. And technology cannot be left out. There are many other initiatives that Liberian National Student Union want to take on, want to help educate young people, not only students, but young people who are in the street, in the ghettos, who could be or serious minded member of the institute, because the guys are on the street and other things. If you integrate them in schools, they automatically becomes our member. So we need sponsorship, we need funding from other people, because these are initiatives that should continue. Radio engagements, going from place to place, school to schools. So we're calling on people like the Peace Building Office, we're calling on UNFPA, UN Women, all of these people, even government, for budgetary allocation, increasement budgetary allocation for our programs.
Yes.
So like Remy was saying, and he concluded on one of two of these processes.
Yeah, quickly, I'll go to one or two things before I go to the
Yeah, so
line.
before we go to the line, there are few real life stories, few examples of real life story where community use technology to overcome conflict. People may not know it. People feel that technology is just back You know, there's something that you can just write on everything.
Yeah, but
But
chatting and
yeah,
stuff.
but there are few real life stories. Like for example, you have the post election violence of 2008 in Kenya, right? Kenya, they were using a cross sourcing piece with there's a platform they used to call Ushadi, right? Ushadi, USHAHRDI. It's a technological platform. They use that technology platform to create, real-time information about incidents and violences. Rwanda and Kenya. There was a post-election conflict. 2008 election was marked by chaotic scenes in Kenya and all of that. So they use that app where citizens were able to report violence through SMS, through emails, through social media, enables and authorities and NGO to act and respond respectively, and also help other people who want to curtail these issues. Like for example, there's a serial chaos here and they want to send police and other things. These applications and other things use people. In Colombia, there was a visual engagement in a peace negotiation. There was a long civil, like I was saying, you don't want to meet this person close to face. There was a decade-long civil conflict in Colombia. It was between the government and the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, FARC, right? So there were digital platforms that were used to help curtail that war. You look at the Israel and the Palestine conflict. Like Remy was saying just now, the Israel and the Palestine conflict, how would we know about it if we're not using social media, if we're not using technology and all of that? And mind you, there's something in Israel and Palestine war that we are not getting. The young people in Israel and Palestine, they came together and built a platform of technological gaming tools, wherein you can be in Palestine, I can be in Israel, we can play that game together, you and I, for friendship. We play the game. This can be able to help young people, because the young people are the future generation. We are, or people of now, this is why we are not too young to lead. So you can be able to,
You and Remy, quickly, sometimes to the young people, the students, they suffer to get access to the internet. And I know you are the chair, or if you are the one that are responsible for all of the activity for students here in Liberia. Now, what would be your call quickly before I go to the line when it comes to some of the schools where there is no access to internet? Because mind you, the children sometimes they want to do the assignment, no way to do all of these things. In fact, there are a lot of students that are not even open up to internet up to date. They don't even know about internet. They don't even know the usage of internet.
So the first thing is that we should be backed in order to carry on this awareness beyond, right? We need funding, because to go around to print shites, to print awareness banners, everything, we need fundings to carry on the initiative. The first thing, before students get to know the importance, before students start to use these things, these technological tools, they first all have to know the importance of these tools. So before we start telling the schools, y'all gotta create digital platform, y'all gotta help the children to get internet, y'all gotta schools, the University of Liberia or UMU, other places, people start telling them, say, y'all got to create technological lab. Y'all got to do everything. The students have to know the importance of these places first. So the Liberia National Student Union needs funding for such an initiative. We got to go to radio stations, not only True FM. We got to go other. Liberia is not only Monrovia. There are other people in Lofa, in Maryland, in San Nicolas, in other places. They need to get these messages to go across. So we have to have funding where we'll be able to back our initiative to go to these various places first of all. Then from there we can start engaging students and student leaders and schools and all of that.
Sure. So let me add to the chase, like Thomas stated, right? So recently we conducted a sustainable initiative. Like you emphasize on some of the lapses that have encapsulated the Liberian youth, specifically students, right? So our fundings from these particular initiatives that were conducted in the various counties included that most of these schools that are there, including public schools, they lack modern state-of-art laboratory, owing to the fact that students that are within that institutions are said to be eligible to write or WAS. See how saddening it is, how pathetic it is. How will a student save for a WAS if that student has not been orientated on how to use basic equipment and instrument? How do you expect that student to make or pass in that WAS? So we had this initiative to be able to identify some of the lapses that have taken on the Liberian students. So like Thomas saying, what we need in order to expand the scope of our operation, because we have the plans, we have the ideas, we have the policy, we are prepared, we have a manifesto, we have an agenda that cover all the entire Liberian student to ensure that not just we foster productivity, but to bring dividends to the Liberian student, to ensure that their rights are prioritized, to ensure that what should be done for the Liberian students by the Liberian government will be done. But basically, what we lack, what we need is funding. We need an increasement in our budgetary allotment. We need more collaboration. We need more support from non-governmental institutions in order to bring our plans, our manifestation to fruition. In order to achieve those things, we will need other institutions to come on board and provide those necessary subsidies. We have the ideas, we have the plans, we have the ways, the mechanism. But what is lacking basically is the funding. Like I said, Mabon, the initiative that was conducted by Linsu, the sales post-war leadership of Linsu, that is to be inaugurated, right? The initiative came up with a lot of fundings that are very saddening. Situations that are confronting the Liberian students, specifically those ones that are in senior secondary institutions. And it was conducted on the basis of our desire, our passion, our urge to serve and ensure that we shift the paradigm of the Liberian students.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Thomas and Anna, let me go to the line now to interact with few of your listeners or our listeners, those our people who follow us and also that want to be part. Maybe some of the students or maybe supporters of people who also admire want to call in and also know more about this. So the number to call is 0777 285 961. That's the number again. 0777 no sorry 0778 339682. Sorry, 0778 339682. We have 10 more minutes to go. And at 7 o'clock, we're going to go for the news break. Come back, we continue with the SKTV show up to 8 o'clock. Yes, it is. So 0778 339682. Sorry, the other number is off or having some technical issues. So call on 0778339682. To the first caller, good evening.
Good evening. And thanks to the children family for their graduating.
Yeah.
Alvin Bekai, and the project manager for the issue. So thanks to the two brothers in the studio. He spoke extensively on issues confronting the Liberian National Student Union and how we can grapple with some of these issues and find or mitigate problem solving method. So we call on our partners, UNFP, USAID, peacebuilding office, and all our partners and stakeholders to continue to invest in human capacity, especially as the issue want to be more programmatic, want to transform the Liberian National Student Union to a more programmatic organization and see how best we can look after the welfare of our students. This initiative is not starting yet. We have launched several other programs. We'll be moving maybe by tomorrow to dedicate some computers, some devices to schools.
Well, he slipped off the line. So keep a call coming 0778 339682. That's the number to call again 0778 339682. Call in and to be part. Sorry, our line 1 is down. So call line 2 0778 339682. That's the number for you to call and talk to the team here from Linsu. They are discussing the way forward for the usage of social media and other technology. Hello. Wow. Today's caller, good evening.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
My brother, I'm great. Thank God for life. Go ahead, your name and from where you join us.
My name is Ibrahim Kape, and I'm the current vice president of the Board of Liberia Student Union. I join you from Comfort for Warranty.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, you are most welcome. Let me just thank you to the brothers. They have made it the necessary flags of the students, and we urge them to do more. Secondly, to our stakeholders who are listening and following the show via social media or radio, are calling on them to work closely with the newly elected leadership of the Liberia National Student Union to see how best the student lives in this country can be better. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my brother. That's the best way to go. That from dialogue for confrontation. The best thing for students is for them to learn. Keep a calls coming. 0778 339682. I just get used to the 0777. But again, you can also call 0778 339682. That's the number for you to call to be live on Truth FM SKTV show this evening. Those of you who call in line 2, please, line 2 is off or line 1 is off, only line 2 operating. So 0778 339682. That's the number for you to call. Take 1 or 2 more calls and cross over to the team to give us their parting before we reach 7 o'clock of our news. So again, 0778 339682. That's the number to call. Let me see what are the caller on the line. Hello? Hello? All right, 0778 339682. Yeah, so while we wait for a call, I know the number is a little bit. Well, go ahead, Remy, and that Thomas, we got to go. We have Rob Debo. Let me see, 5 more minutes to go.
So let me just recap the essence of this particular appearance on this platform today is to discuss the second phase of the program that have been launched by the 6th post-war leadership of the Liberian National Student Union under the potent auspices of President-elect James Sktv-Lib. And this particular initiative or program is under the banner Digital Bridge, Enhancing Peace Building and Gender Advocacies using Technological Platform or through technology. So we had the first segment, and the first segment was held at the Matilda Nipper High School, where we launched the program, and then we had our sunset training sections that cover all basic thematic area or discipline, right? So this is the second phase, and we will be having 3 separate radio appearances on 3 distinct topics. And today you have Thomas and I in the studio, providing our expertise and ideas on the essentiality of peace building through technology, right? So again, peace building is when we, the constituents of individuals of this society, are able to ensure that we collectively work together to create peace and maintain peace. Is when we are able to prevent violent conflict from emerging, from reoccurring, or continuing, right? So I want to provide this recap because maybe we're just having some people joining this particular conversation. And to conclude, there are basic tools that are used in order to carry on our advocacies, specifically for peace building using technology. We have the digital media. Like I said, we use our Facebook page. We can use our Facebook page to carry on public awareness involving conflagration and how we can be able to address it. We can use our WhatsApp page. We use our TikTok page. I told you about the geographical information tools, like using a map, also map reading. These are basic tools that we can use, technological tools that we can use to convey message of peace and love to the rest of the world. We also use robotic drone system and other stuff. So I'm going to conclude on this note, then Thomas can be able to.
So time, media thing, journalism thing, time is the best, is the worst enemy and all of that. So firstly, I want to say thanks to Arfin Fekar, who gave his input, who called. He is the head of projects at the Liberian National Student Union. I also want to say thanks to the vice president of the University of Liberia Student Union, Abraham Gapian, who also gave his input. And lastly, before we leave, we are again calling on our partners. That is UNFPA, the Peace Building Office, UN Women, and all of these people who want to see the issue of peace building among students around Liberia to grow, to help even the government of Liberia to help support the Liberian National Student Union in these initiatives, so that I can just stop right here, so that I can go forward and forward and forward And we hope for more of these, interactions and all of that. But on Thursday, we'll have another batch of people come here to also talk to also discuss how we can use technology for advocacy and all of that. So they'll be here Thursday. So we'll have to stop on this note, Mayborn.
Wonderful. And let me say thanks to the two of you for coming up, and thanks to the management. Also, thanks to Sktv family also for allowing their platform to be used. Thanks to all of you. And we hope to see you again another day. Thank you so much. Well, so folks, there you have it. We have our first segment guest coming from Linsu, the student body of the Republic of Liberia. And coming up at 7 o'clock, we're going to go for a news break. And trust me, after the news bulletin, we're going to continue with the Sktv show up to 8 o'clock on tonight. But at 7:15, after analyzing some of our few political activity for the day, we're going to activate a line, and I know you guys, you two also, you're going to be part of some of the happenings. So this break, and trust me, we will be right back after this break. This is what happening right here in Liberia, and yes, this is exactly
Very sorry,
what
I'm very disappointed.
What is the biblical foundation of regionalization? Bishop Choir could not prove to me as a theologian, as a student, a scholar in West African theology. Yeah, for his age, he told us, I'm Representative T. Jackson. I went to his office. I asked him, Bishop, what is the theological and biblical foundation of regionalization? He could not convince me, his son, his classmate, his schoolmate from West African theological seminary. So is that all? It's just about different theology and this one. I don't know. I want you to know that today, I'm going to teach and expose my church to Sktv-Lib regionalization. Because I was speaking to the church, and the church has grasped it. It's an enemy. But China is black. They try to imagine they were trash. They told the first place to win, they were trash. Now they're running to the silver market, they will be trash. Okay? And next week I'll be going to church. And right now it's on the second, no regionalization pastor will go there. No regionalization bishop will go there. It's a fire will not go there because the people do not want regionalization.
Are you surprised by the action of the bishop?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. All that people ski. All that people ski. So we are not surprised. He has been scheming, and we will stand up to him through prayer, through education. What's up? He suspended me. My church told him that Reverend Jackson will not leave. And I did not leave. He went to court, and the court said it's trash. Reverend Jackson go back to church. I went there, I organized revival. If you go there, you see the revival banner. Right now, I was doing revival service, and they brought another court order. I took it because I'm a law body pastor. I'm waiting. But next week, I'm going back. That court order will be trash because Bishop Choir and his people, they are on the wrong side. We, the majority of my girls, on the right side. My lawyer will take it on that one. But it will be next week very soon.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Don't worry. Thank you.
It's just something feature of Bishop Choir you have not seen around.
Yeah?
It's just something feature of Bishop Choir you have seen.
Well, let me tell you, when the wicked rule, the church dies. But when the righteous rule, the church grows.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So we stay here at the compound in Elementary. We have people here.
In the headlines, President Joseph Boakai endorses the $8.4 billion United States dollar arrest agenda for inclusive development, a 5-year development blueprint for the country. Liberian Senate described the death of Nimba County Senator Prince Johnson as a great loss, not just to the people of Nimba, but the Senate and the country at large. The executive branch of government refutes report that President Boakai has resubmitted the 2025 draft national budget to the national legislature. And away from Liberia, Nigeria's anti-graft agency says it has made its biggest ever seizure of assets alleged to have been purchased with the proceeds of corruption, according to the BBC. Those are the headlines. Now the news in detail. President Joseph Boakai has endorsed the $8.4 billion United States dollar arrest agenda for inclusive development, a 5-year development blueprint for the country. The agenda, which is for the period 2025 to 2029, aims to address Liberia's most critical challenges and enhance equitable progress. The arrest agenda prioritizes 6 critical development areas, which include agribusiness, roads and infrastructure, rule of law and governance, education and human capacity development, sanitation, and tourism. According to an executive mansion release, President Boakai outlined his administration's bold vision to tackle Liberia's most pressing challenges through inclusive and transformative strategies. President Boakai emphasized the importance of the arrest agenda for inclusive development and the accompanying county development agendas as instruments to combat multi-dimensional poverty, improve livelihood, and foster equitable progress across the nation. The arrest agenda was endorsed on Tuesday during the National Steering Committee meeting chaired by President Joseph Boakai at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Monrovia. The Liberian Senate has described the death of Nimba County Senator Prince Johnson as a great loss, not just to the people of Nimba, but the Senate and Liberia at large. The senators, in separate statements, described the late senator as a father, cooperative and submissive individual who served as mentor to every member of the Senate during his service. According to them, the late senator's love for country, especially Nimba, will forever be remembered despite his political stance. In remarks, Senate Pro Tempore Nyomli Kanga Lawrence highlighted her engagements with the late Senator Johnson and also requested that the entire Senate visit the late senator's home to sympathize with the family. Each senator, meanwhile, reflected on the past interactions they had with the late Senator Prince Johnson during his time in the Liberian Senate. The Nimba County Senator, who had been in the Senate since 2006, passed out last Thursday after he reported a collapse in his bedroom in Painesville. The executive branch of government has refuted report that the president has resubmitted the draft 2025 national budget to the legislature. It is being widely speculated on social media and other media outlets that President Joseph Boakai has resubmitted the draft budget to embattled House Speaker Funati Kofa, while the copy recently presented by the Finance Ministry is reportedly before the majority bloc. The Information Ministry, in a statement issued late Tuesday, maintained that the November 18, 2024 submission of the draft budget to the acting chief clerk of the House of Representatives remains valid. The release quotes the ministry as saying, when a draft budget is submitted to the legislature, each member of the legislature is entitled to a copy in preparation for the budget debate as required by law. Meanwhile, the executive branch of the Liberian government says it remains engaged with the national legislature to ensure the subsequent passage of the draft national budget. At the same time, members of the House of Representatives have clarified speculations regarding the resubmission of the draft 2025 budget. In a press release, members of the House said, contrary to the rumors, the executive branch of government has not recalled the draft 2025 national budget from the legislature, neither resubmitted it. They noted that the budget as submitted by the executive through the Finance Ministry and duly received in plenary on November 18, 2024, has since been sent to committee room. They, however, noted that in an unusual manner, it has come to the members' in section attention that embattled House Speaker Fonati Kofa, accompanied by a heavy security presence, forcefully took from the chief clerk's office copies of the budget intended for distribution among the 73 members and is now pretending that the budget was resubmitted to him. This development is highly concerning and raises questions about the integrity of the legislative process, the group said. The statement further quotes the members in section as strongly condemning the actions. The body has meanwhile assured the public that it remains committed to upholding its constitutional responsibilities and ensuring transparency and accountability in the budget review process. The group, in a statement signed by press at the House of Representatives, said investigations are ongoing and appropriate actions will be taken to address what they called breach of protocol. The presiding justice in Chimba, the Supreme Court of Liberia, has placed a stay order on the criminal trial involving former Finance Minister Samuel Twe and 4 others at Criminal Code C. Associate Justice Yami Bese, according to RCR judicial correspondent, ordered Judge Blambo Dixon to halt all proceedings into the case. Justice Bese also mandated the parties to appear for a legal conference on Tuesday, December 10, 2024. The presiding justice in Chimbra's action was as a result of petition for a writ of certiorari filed by the court against Criminal Code C resident George Blambo Dixon regarding the way he is proceeding with the case, which led to him granting the criminal bond of ex-finance minister Samuel Twe and 4 others. Our judicial correspondent said Justice Bese's action or order comes at a time the subordinate court was scheduled to read the indictment to the ex-finance minister and 4 others on Wednesday, December 4, to ascertain their plea as provided by law. The 5 former officials, Samuel Twe, Moses Cooper, Nancy Twan, Stanley Ford, and Jefferson Camo, stand indicted by the government for allegedly stealing over $6 million United States dollars. European Union Ambassador to Liberia, Lona Depretz, says the progress towards the definition and implementation of the War and Economic Crimes Code is a milestone in advancing transitional justice in the country. Ambassador Depretz added that it took enormous courage and commitment from the Liberian people to bring an end to the brutal civil war. She said the success of the War and Economic Crimes Code hinges on the active participation of all, including justice actors and the participation of victims and survivors who are waiting to have access to justice, reparation, and recognition. She said to adopt a comprehensive approach to transitional justice that encompasses both retribution and restorative elements, it is based on 4 pillars, which include the right to truth, the right to justice, or criminal accountability. Ambassador Lona Depretz said all pillars are important and need to be addressed hand in hand, stressing that this is a Liberian-led victim-centered process where Liberia will decide how to establish the mechanisms to implement the transitional justice. The EU ambassador made a statement recently when she served as keynote speaker at the Liberian National Bar Association's National Convention in Kanta, Nima County. You are listening to a bulletin of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. In more news tonight, former Representative Jimmy Smith is demanding an open apology from former President George Weah for his behavior toward Vice President Jeremiah Coon at the home of late Senator Prince Johnson. A video circulated on social media shows former President Weah declining to shake the hand of the Vice President, but rather lay his hand in his chest and bowed in greetings. But speaking to RCR News on Monday, former Representative Jimmy Smith pointed out that such behavior by former President Weah does not present him as a leader, describing his action as childish and vindictive. The former Mansarado County District 2 representative in his statement noted that if former President George Weah wants to regain state power, he must desist from such divisive behaviors, adding that what is unfolding currently is about bereavement of the people of Nimba and Liberia and not about politics. As Christians worldwide mark the beginning of Advent, the Reverend Dr. Gabriel Blamo Juwe, Metropolitan Archbishop of Monrovia, has issued a pastoral letter titled Jubilee Year, a joining of hope, urging Liberians to embrace hope, reconciliation, and faith amidst the nation's challenges. The letter, delivered on the first Sunday of Advent 2024, reflects on the essence of the season and the forthcoming Jubilee Year in 2025, declared by Pope Francis as a time for grace, forgiveness, and reward or renewal under the theme Pilgrims of Hope. Acknowledging the many challenges facing Liberia, Archbishop Juwe noted the continuing social, economic, and spiritual struggles afflicting the nation. He emphasized that hope remains a vital anchor during such difficult times, encouraging believers to trust in God's promises for restoration and peace. The Deputy Managing Director of Administration of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, Weston Gay, has called on Grenadians to embrace peace, unity, and togetherness to pursue development, just as he inspired graduates of the Zwedru Multilateral High School to create their pathways for greater adventure beyond the high school education. Gay made a session on Sunday, December 1, when he delivered the keynote address at the graduation exercise of the Zwedru Multilateral High School, where 215 students graduated in various technical and vocational disciplines. He told the citizens to strive to be part of the mainstream politics in the country, stressing that they cannot afford to be on the periphery with what happens on the national level. While lamenting the low level of development in the country despite the country's 177 years of political independence, Gay said the administration of President Joseph Boakai is taking decisive actions to reverse the trend and place Liberia on the right path of growth and development. He said amid applause from the audience, the Deputy Managing Director for Administration said a technical team from the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation will shortly assess facilities and water infrastructure in Zwedru City for the restoration of water supplies in the city for the first time since the system was broken down in the past 6 years. Well, out of Liberia, Nigeria's anti-graft agency said it has made its biggest ever seizure of assets alleged to have been purchased with the proceeds of corruption. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission announced that it has taken possession of a large housing estate comprising of more than 750 properties in the capital, Abuja. The agency did not reveal exactly who had owned the land and luxurious homes, but its statement said they belonged to a former high-ranking member of government. The EFCC was set up in 2003 to fight corruption in the country, where it is seen as endemic, existing through all government structures. The forfeiture of the property was in line with the EFCC's mandate and policy directive of ensuring that the corrupt and fraudulent do not enjoy the proceeds of their unlawful activities, the agency said. Situated on the outskirts of Abuja, passers-by have for years wondered who owned the estate, covering some 150,000 square meters. A property expert based in Abuja estimated that its seized assets will be worth tens of billions of dollars on the market. Corruption remains one of the biggest problems in Nigeria, despite successive governments promising to stop it. The country is one of Africa's largest oil producers, but few of its more than 22 or 225 million inhabitants have benefited from this wealth. Well, to end this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. President Joseph Boakai endorses the 8.4 billion United States dollar arrest agenda for inclusive development, a 5-year development blueprint for the country. Liberian Senate describes the death of Nimba County Senator Prince Johnson as a great loss, not just to the people of Nimba, but the Senate and Liberia at large. The executive branch of government refutes reports that the president has resubmitted the 2025 draft national budget to the legislature, says the one submitted on November 18 remains valid. And off the home front, Nigeria's anti-graft agency says it has made its biggest ever seizure of assets alleged to have been purchased with the proceeds of corruption, according to the BBC. That's RCR News Bulletin at 7. My name is Maka Davis.
Brought his daughter to me, Krista. Some are calling nodding her head positively in acknowledgement of that. Senator Johnson came to Thank you. Thank you. Senator Johnson brought his daughter to me, and several times he came and said, Senator, my son, please talk to President Walker to give my daughter a job. I trust you and your relationship with the president. I said I will honor that request. 2 days before his passing, Senator Johnson called me and said, Distinguished, please don't forget. I said the president, I will meet the president in Grand Bassa County for the funeral of the late Lieutenant of Grand Bassa County, and I will remind him and push him. Thursday morning, we in Grand Bassa County for the funeral of the late Lieutenant of Grand Bassa County when Crystal called me early in the morning crying. Senator, Daddy gone, he left me with you. And that's when I knew that the rumor about, and she told me what happened to the woman. I've been an emotional person, I broke down. I called the program, informed her. When Senator Daba Babla came, Senator Boto Kane came, all of them came to Grand Bassa County. I said, by the time the president arrived in Grand Bassa County at the protest house for the funeral, right in her living room, I said to the president was also down. And I said to the president, I said, Mr. President, Senator Johnson left a witch, a last will, maybe with me, for us to intervene. And the president asked what was that? And I explained to him. I said, we have to honor his wish, Mr. President. And he said, they don't want to do that. I'm saying this not to.
Well. Welcome back, folks. The time check is 20 minutes. Wow, 20 minutes past 7 o'clock from what I said and broadcast. And today is Tuesday. The Sktv continue after our guest, our first segment guest, which of course today we have some students here talking about technology, the usage of technologies and so forth. And later on, we join our newsroom to bring you 15 minutes of news bulletin, and that ended by 7:15. So again, we continue and we just play you one of the trending and video of the day, and that Senator Davos Dillon. So we said the light, Senator. Your mother gave us man, my own light. So the light we're talking about something that happened between he and that the late Senator Prince Johnson. That's the latest. I don't know, there are a lot of people have been following that video or that latest news about the former senator passing through Senator Davos Dillon to get a job for his daughter. So, folks, we're back. But again, breaking news is that the President Walker endorses 8.4 billion USD for 5 years arrest agenda for inclusive development. I mean, nobody will leave behind. Everything out of all will be part. Yes. Look, congratulations to the arrest agenda, and let me say congratulations to the government of Liberia and the president. So that's the latest news also coming up that President Bwaka endorses 8.4 billion USD. 8.4 billion USD for 5 years arrest agenda. So in the next 5 years, these are the money that will be spent for inclusive development. Liberia, Monrovia, Liberia, President Bwaka has endorsed the arrest agenda for inclusive development, or the AARD, arrest agenda for inclusive development. You know, we were talking a song about. Look, I had to play this song, people. I'm looking for this song. How they call this song? Wisdom Car, right? That Wisdom Car, yeah. Those of you way back, you got to look for Wisdom Car. Oh, first look, Maziga, but we don't get copy. I'm looking for this song because this moving forward. Our question to you is, to all of you out there today, where are we heading as a country? That's the last segment, guys. Oh, sure, rather sorry. That's the last thing we're going to be talking about. If we can end this today, we're going to end it, or maybe tomorrow. The same topic. Where are we heading as a country? 2024 vision 2024. That one passed. Look, what we start. We're not like this. Oh, yeah. You know, I like the country. Let me see what. Yes, I'm coming, of course. The country is indeed interesting. Yeah, I'm looking for Wisdom Car. You know, we get the same market. Where Wisdom Car, man? Wisdom Car. Like, we're not like this. So, but please send me the song title. Yeah, let me see. Oh God. So the country, when you campaign, you win elections, you got to pass 2 people to get job. What? It is indeed interesting. Well, their wisdom like what good. I think that the song. Yeah. So Facebook, we don't own no copyright to this song, please. We just want to pass through with this song on the show. Quickly, then we'll go straight to the line as so that we can yes, so that we can be able to interact with our people. Where are we heading as a country? Where? Now you will tell us where we're heading. Whether we're moving forward or where we're going or we're going back. Vision 2024, that one finish. No hay, no tea. Vision 2030. The country is indeed. Look, anytime you come here, if you not put phone in your life, heart attack. Whether you like it, whether you are angry, whether you are serious, well, that's your business. But for us here, we just have to make sure that the people say you working on yeah. Let me see. Yeah, so where the Wisdom Car, man. Let me play this song quickly, people, just for a few minutes. Because we got to know. We want to let this. How come all of these things happening? How come all of these things happening on our watch with all of the latest? Yeah, sorry, dude. Where is this? Okay, correct. Yes. So we just intend to play this for maybe about 2 to 3 minutes. Then we know exactly what we're heading as a country. 8.4 billion. Providing prosperity that uncanny. Oh, the country interesting. Oh man, when we not cover the country interesting. God, look, if you're angry with me, then you must be angry with yourself. Because for me, yeah, I don't care how if you're getting angry. Well,
Arabian regime. Liberia used to be sweet Nigeria. But not today. Everywhere we go, they thought we get criminals. But people like the rebel not let them all. We were not let them all like the rebel not let them. We were not let them. The way today, we are divided. Nothing afraid. Stop trying to afraid before we were not let them. We were not let them. People like the rebel not let them all. We were not let them all like the rebel not let them. We were not let them. Liberia today in a terrorist again. Suffering like this. No food to eat. No clothes to wear. No food to sleep. People they were not let them. We were not let them.
Correct. So, all of you today that were called, and you know very well that people used to come, right? I don't know what some of you can still maybe you can still recall. And you know, during those days, they said that people used to come. Yeah, cool. And in fact, I can still recall some of us. We've been hearing this in that Liberia was like small America. So whenever people come here, they feel like, other people want to be here to go to school. People want, people try to come here to get things done. How come will it is? So Wisdom Card is asking all of us. We are not like this, and that's true. So Vision 2024, that one now. That who said Vision 2024? Someone you don't even know. Easy. You don't even know the vision. Can you imagine? Vision 2024 coming in. We say it's the proper agenda for prosperity. That one feeling good. That one see that one. In fact, 8.4 billion. That's the latest news. Now when you like your life not improve that one, just need that one, and then we just take it out. Anybody life not improve, and then they watch in the 8.4 billion. Then just forget about your own. So our life going to get better. Congratulations to the government. Thanks to the president, indeed, and that's just the fact. But this country was not like this. How come now everything just going back to back? People are now confessing. Now, what the other men were confessing, the man come in and say, bring $1 to the office, that should be able to give $1 job. So if Senator Prince Johnson the late, who make the king, can even struggle, can pass through someone else to get a job, God be God. So when we say these things, some of you get angry. You got to get contact. Liberia, you got to get contact. If you don't have contact, you will not eat. You will not work, no matter how strong, how educated you are, no matter how smart you are. And then you don't have contact, forget it. So you see, glaring. Thank God that they are all confessing. So you see, thank God that they are all confessing. That somebody have to come through, get this, and get that. So Vision 2024, say Miata, you're going to tell us about it. Vision 2024, I think that has already ended because we have how many more days now in a year? Or in fact, in a month, in the entire year, I think almost 28 days. We have probably about 28 more days to go, then the year end. Where the vision. So Liberia governance system is like you come, you say your own, you play your part. After 6 years, you go. You waste the Liberian people time, and another group of people come. When they are all of their talking, they come. Waste the Liberian people time too, and they go. And at the start, when we come, you talk, you say what you say. Look, Caroline. That's the right and that's the choice. But again, we'll say what we are saying to all of us as people, that this country belongs to all Liberians. If you are given opportunity to serve, serve well. And you know, before I go to the land quickly, from 2006 up to now, I think it's about 19 years. 19 years we're gone. And everything still on the standstill. Everything still moving like snail. I know how the snail. But the money is there. You can see the money. All of the resources, everything out there, people are what? You see company coming in, getting all of the raw resources, taking it out, and guess what? They bring most of these things back home and will buy them with huge sum of money. Price go up high. And they age in time. Where is the mayor in Liberia during those days? These things. All of the factories, battery factory, the other factory, all of these things today. That what Winston Kai is saying. That yeah, people used to come. Here, right here in Liberia. That place used to be like small America. But today, everything turned upside down. For senseless. So when you listen to that song, senseless war. All the people that were coming for change, they were there. They were all given opportunity. We got 19 years. Where are they? 077 285 971. Let me go to the line and interact with more calls or take more callers. To this caller, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, man. Okay, go ahead, Chief. Where are we heading as a country? Liberia was not like this. That year people used to come.
That's a great question to all we Liberians. This country, to where it's going, we don't really know where it's heading to. Our citizens, we are not knowing where our country is going. We only hear about those days how things used to be better. We have shoe factory, iron factory, battery factory, gold medal factory, matty factory. You can now hold to Mala Drive, old factories that you can see, the Muna factory. But today, we who came, we cannot see anything about these things that people talk about. That we only hearing about that existed before. And our country is going backward over and over. Every day, every minute, we missing the other million that get missing. Politicians will come and lie to us, will give them jobs. At the end of the day, they will let us down.
And they can, yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I said they can be on the other job, like for example, the 6-year job. They didn't even go even about 2-3 years yet, and in fact, they start campaigning.
They start campaigning about another one. So these are what talking about. We the citizens are the ones who always working on these people.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Keep a calls coming to this caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, good evening to your listener. Emmanuel is my name for this kid.
Go ahead, Emmanuel. That year people used to come. How come we like this? Every year we still making an agenda.
I would say for me, we are the cause of our own suffering in the country. Then because of all the leaders that put there to most account to always let and lie to us and tell all I want to kind of team better. Look at the other one they rescue things in fact, you know, fact money.
8.4 billion. My man forgot that thing, man. And your own kaya, you and your own kaya with proper agenda for development. What will go? And where nothing will get. All right, thank you so much. After giving the people 6 years, you know, it's frustrating. Let me be frank. Some of you, I know you get angry, you will talk in your feeling, but that's just the fact. They can't give you 6 years. It doesn't even go nowhere yet. you are there campaigning for another state. So like you are, oh God, anyway. So let's call a good evening. Yeah, go ahead, my dear. Where are we heading as a, yeah.
My name is Aaron Bisa. I'm joining you from Duboro.
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
This country, we the youth in this country, we seeking for the betterment of the country. Look, what our leaders to be all those factories, the shoe factories, the tissue factories, the food factories, the factories, so that our country can be better, so that we can do better things for ourselves in this country. But the people continue to be treated as if we're watching them. We look at them with our evil eyes. We see them. And those are for sure the king. And kill the king will never take kingship in this country. We know and watching them. They know themselves. We know we look at it in this country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are watching, but I don't know whether you'll be watching from maybe from the fence. Today's caller, good evening.
Good evening, Miss Okura.
Yeah, my dear brother, go ahead. Your name and from where you join us.
My name remains Joseph B. Nimble, and I call from Mount Battle to be precise on the Anthony Were Avenue. Okay. Melbourne, thank you for the topic on the discussion today. During those days, the population were not in 2.5 million. Yes. So, then the second point here is there was no technology.
Okay.
People were blind to technology. So there was no way for people to understand the system or how government do things. Now, doing our own things now.
No. Hello. I want to ask you this question. So, are you allowing this maybe situation to what making Liberia to be backward or what? What are you trying to say?
Yes. Because the question you asking,
yeah.
Liberia was not like this today. It was not like this before. So now, what made Liberia to be like this?
Now you're forgetting something. So I want to correct you. Also include the war. Why you want to jump over the war? Okay, all right. Okay, all right. No, go ahead. Because you were naming that one. Sorry.
Okay. During those days, the mind of the people were moved. Now, our day now, our mind is different from the people day. Now, our leaders these days, they just care for them and their family to just come to use the people instead of for the Facebook now, because the Facebook account, technology account, make everybody, they just fool everybody to the Facebook, random people. But if you get to those people, the people will only care or were caring for their citizens, were caring for the people. That's why they were only care for development. But now Liberia leaders will not care for development, will not even care for the citizens, only care for me, myself. That's why we go for me. Look at all the things you're discussing over there now. Some people sitting in the country, right now, some people say, now, look at our leaders, the rescue mission that we fought for in this country, even the jobs here that we fought for in this country, nothing they're able to do for us, but only to enrich themselves, to go for their own children, send their children to the luxurious schools, and buy luxurious cars for their children. They don't get time for the people.
All right, thank you so much. So there's caller, good evening.
Yeah, Mabel, how you doing?
Yeah, good evening, Uncle. How you doing?
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, I've been listening to you and your guest, and then the song you just played. You see, the song explains itself because from the two party day up to NDP before the war, in avoid that difficulty were in the country in all respect, but we're having electricity, we're having water, water and sewer, we're almost in every home. Being sharp in the country, especially in the city, we're having TV, we're having water, we're having faucets inside their houses. We're not used to go to water from in the well, in the interior.
Uncle, I want to ask you this question. At that time, you people know anything about power theft, anything like that?
No. Power theft would be around, but it was not rampant like this.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe the power tech could be that, maybe somebody everybody who pay electricity of a small 22 hour is labor. But in the way a rapper now, you see, whole community, everybody want power there. That used to happen like that. Besides that, if electricity in majority of the home, people will not take interest in doing power there, all those kind of things. But when you find almost or 75% of the people who don't have electricity, obviously they will struggle for it. That's all. Besides that, I mean, rest and tea, to buy rest and tea, you were not struggling to buy rest. No.
And I want to say rest, Uncle thank God that you online. I want to say rest. Some of the politicians they use against the sitting government and the people today that cause chaos and make us to even go. I don't know, should I say almost 80% backward than where we are today.
Yes, correct. I mean, you know the progressive using rice riot, you know, rice and rice, you know, they say back of rice they want to carry to $18 or $12. Can you imagine if you think about now during normal day? I mean, $5 was minister who money for soup. Minister. That time, I mean, ordinary person will carry $1.50. I say $1. I say $150. I say $1.50. Some people carrying 75 cents for food. You know, they eat $5 grumpy that time or maybe this time $5 grumpy. You're not even saying your boy, even your daughter must say before I talk about yourself.
No. Butter cannon is one for butter cannon. You be far for follow the country. The country to justice. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you.
So we're fasting because the situation was living at the time. So when the son say we were not like this before, walking, you know, because you know sometimes the people say they go, and you know, they walking, people are running. You enter in somebody's hall, you take their TV, you take their mattresses, you enter buying, you open buying, you take. So we take it to be pleasure at the time, but we didn't know that it will bring adverse consequence on the country.
Seriously, Uncle.
To fix the economy, it will take years. But you know, I mean, one thing I want to say is that we need to have a national agenda.
Yeah, that's another one, Uncle, because Uncle, you're right, because with the changes of I think Manasade used to have the poverty reduction strategy, right?
Poverty reduction strategy.
That wouldn't even work. The CDC to come through with our own.
Vision 2024.
Yeah, vision. I tell what you on now. So that vision.
1997 Vision 2024. That show that a additional war not to come. And that 2024 we be teaching government democratically. And then we say, look, our national budget, 40% should go to projects, should go to national development. And maybe 60% can go for recurring.
Yes.
So it means that by now, you should have quota from Monrovia all the way to Maryland. You should have quota to all the outlets, the counties that far from Monrovia.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Uncle. Thank you so much. Let me see quickly this message. To those of you, yes, Ministry of Public Work, we are appealing to you or even calling your attention for you to focus on the car where Samunka Road. Please mind you that road connects a lot of community, including Johnsonville, Louisiana, and that of Mount Barclay. Please, Ministry of Public Work, we want your attention on our Samunka Road and other feeder roads around Monrovia and its environment. So again, Liberia was not like the pepper make. Let me tell some of you, you don't even know about how expensive this country is. Peppermint is 1 for 5. Yeah, the country is just match it. Even match it box 1 for 5. And hello, so that's called a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, man. Dear, go ahead. Your name and from where you join us.
So my name is Sherry, and I'm Sherry from Young Sherry. I join you from District 17, Modogon, respectively from Montana Shop.
Go ahead, my brother.
So I sit quietly listening to the conversation. The question asked, my brother, the country will continue to retrospect. We are not going anywhere to admit. To put in the Liberian way, we are not going anywhere.
Why you say so? Because we in Vision 2024 and the sorry, my just Vision 2024
is like just flat. The whole thing go flat. Because the whole 2024, what will benefit that? The whole year. This is last year. The last one in the year. We'll be getting your new year. Next month, hopefully.
Anyway, so the protocol 1 year, the president, they remain 5 years to go now. They get $8.4 billion. Our life will get better. I pray that my life get better because my life will get better. I think I will not travel now. Go live Guinea. Thank you.
Get better, you get there's a sign. You will see those signs and things. When things will get better, you will see signs and things. But you cannot see those signs. The government continue to look for something to get for that need to be praised. See what happened? Everything they try to put in, everything just backward. Everything you put in, when they do me now, it go flat. Scholarship, go flat. Yellow machine, flat. Everything.
All right. Thank you so much, my brother. Everything just go flat, and we have today's caller. Good evening.
Hello,
yeah, man. There, go ahead.
My name is Amos. We are joining you from Kansas City. I think we're talking about discussion. Can you imagine today we're hearing that the government sacked 153 presidents, 65 from NEC, 88 from MCC. Where we already crying in the country, the people that bringing no company, the new company bringing for the youth, for the rescue company brought the war, the same motor that were rallying doing any regime, doing where regime, and doing the regime was still rallying. They're not bringing company, but they're sagging people to join us. And even the legislature that we're praying for, the government is owning legislature, even when they don't want to pay.
Yeah, I think the government owed plenty, either around 8 million or 10 million something. But, no. Okay. So in the 8.4 billion, maybe the government will do something. Don't worry, though. Still work up, but don't give up.
We are not giving up. What we're praying for, because if the country gets better, our life will be better, and our children too will enjoy. Because I think we're praying for. But we will not vote for far-sighted president where we'll go and lobby that we don't VS government, we don't arrest about that to improve the agriculture, infrastructure, and other things in the country, bringing companies so that we can work. You can be right all the time. We need to go to school to be the next, leader for this country. So we can be all the time, be right, be doing this kind of thing. And we can't be doing it as a citizen of a country with this kind of country, a rich country with natural resources today. So yeah, they really need to try so that the country can be better, so our life can be better in this country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear brother. Today's caller, good evening. They want enough about politics, so yeah.
How are you?
My brother, I'm okay. Well, thank God for our government. At least they put $8.4 billion for the agenda for the next 5 years, and I think our life now will get better. But by God's grace.
It shouldn't be in the University of Liberia, $4 million that was not realized. Up to now, school now open here. Because now even half gallon of ink or even wrap on that building, the building still remains the same. With $34 million for 2024, with nothing to be shown. Up to now, school are now open. No armchair for students to sit on to rest that note, or even sit in to do that exam. But here's the issue. That yesterday in my community here, Puebla, I saw Mr. Bwaka, his wife, he said the kid was dedicated.
I saw president. Now what president you talking to say? I saw our president, the workaholic. My young man, hello, the workaholic president. Don't do that. So go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, the sooner next month, Mr. Bwaka is looking for everything to add to that sooner. So with the one maternity wall that was in there, with 31-inch TV placed on the wall, with a plastic tap on the floor, with 2 hospital beds put in there. I mean, that's a major project. So they brought Mr. Bwaka yesterday to pocket here, to dedicate that one again yesterday. He dedicated it as the way he did with it, when he put our clear from the road by car. So the old man, he has shown to us that he got no understanding of this country. Even the country has a good coming, but I think coming course, who could have been a very good president and the support because that issue is leadership. For me, the CPV.
Yeah, sorry, my brother, go off the line. So again, quickly, let me say this to the Ministry of Public Work. Please, we want you to pay attention to the Kawe Samukatan road, Samukatan, and please, we want you to pay attention on our road because that road connects a lot of people. And also, there are other feeder roads around Maserado, Painesville, and part of Maserado that you think about. Please pay attention, especially some of the road like the yes. So the Corwell Samukatan road. Please, yeah. Sorry though, it's not easy, but we move. We already on the weather, but again, so let's call a good evening. Yeah, my dear brother, go ahead quickly. Your name and from where you join us. Mm.
Extend my thanks and appreciation to Ambassador Parker.
Okay.
President Parker for his ambition for the country. As I went to the launch the Arise Agenda for Inclusive Development.
Wonderful.
I will set the roadmap when it comes to development our country next year. People have been saying our government is not doing well. You know, we can see it's difficult. But next year, people will come to things to glorify this nation and to glorify the president because of his work. Let me speak on this. In this moment, when we talk about politics, it's not just about kind of criticizing. My fellow word on the president dedicated yesterday, no, he definitely was not for a good project. I don't think you can even tell me that before. Because that was doing a lot for women that are going through our maternal mentality, you know, under a death. Our mothers who normally getting weak power to go to far away hospitals.
Yes, it is.
Because don't have such facilities in their neighborhood. So I sure that you know that it will do good for our country. For people to kind of criticize everything, you know, I say things that you don't need to criticize. You got to criticize them, look about your side.
No, maybe what they are saying too, maybe like for example, maybe the president should have sent maybe one of his, maybe lieutenant, maybe that's what they're saying, not me, but maybe that's what is, yeah.
Nothing is about you,
Okay.
So it's something that will save our baby's life, who will become minister or president in this country. If the president go to do that, that doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
That's just a way of showing his love to the health sector. And the enough for inclusive development also created in health. So the president did not do any wrong. Even the president who is the minister in going said, I think maybe he's not already got me speaking on that. Letting you flow and anyway.
No, my brother, that one, I think, I don't know, but anyway. To this color, good evening. Out of the blame. But again, we just take one or two more calls, then we'll call it a day. But again, sometimes some of the projects, maybe people will be thinking that sometimes not the president send is, lieutenant, that way you have lieutenant, that you have other people, government officials, and so forth. So sometimes people are not saying that some of the projects are not necessary or it's not good. No, you know what people are saying. But sometimes seeing your face on some of the projects, or maybe that's what they are saying. No, hello to this caller. Good evening. Yeah.
Our killing here, we had a Montana war. In the Guana, when I do anything for us, that don't come see some structure of blue. Ever say structure to come up in there and put two horses up there. You can't tell us you get getting that one. That what you call helping you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. So we move, folks. We have roughly about 4 more minutes to go. So please, thank you all of you. We got to go, no time anymore. So we want to say thanks to all of our viewers, our listeners, and so forth. Again, let me say this to all of us, as people, before we go home tonight. This country called Liberia. And for all Liberians, even for those our people who don't easily talk, who in some of the marketplaces or some of them, they feel disappointed, no way to talk, they feel that nobody, going to talk for them. If some of that, look, some people already giving up. They're saying that even when you talk, we're going to change. And these are facts. People say, but even, look, time for elections. We come here, we encourage people to go out there and vote. Go out there and vote. When the people go out there, they vote, you still have a 6-year mandate of the people. Stop the early campaigning or stop the early campaigning and focus on the job or on the mandate the people give to you. But what we see around here is just about campaign. You know, the politicians, look, anyway, I think the political fee is growing. And let me say this for free. The political fee of Liberia is growing. That's why when Liberians send people out there for training, that you send students out there on scholarship or so forth, when they come back, can you imagine we send engineers, we send all the people out. When they come back, they tell the politicians. Because people feel that even when they go to so many places, so many government entities, maybe where so many government entities that are a little bit lower, they won't make the kind of money. So the only way that they can make good money, except maybe they go to the high, like maybe becoming minister, becoming director and so forth. But again, to the government and the president, quickly in a minute before I go, the 8.4 billion arrest agenda. We hope and pray that it will not be like the CDC own. Because let me be frank, Liberians are voting for tangible. They want people who will do the work. They are not voting for people who are in the name of just, you know, showcasing things, acting like you are handsome, acting like you can do combative politics. No. No. So our people, they get in a line to vote you just because they feel that you can deliver. So, Mr. President, please don't sit back and think that all is well. We're going 1 year free, according to one of your own strong supporters, Americone. Free 1 year, 0. Nothing to show, nothing to do. Good night. I catch you when I catch you. That will be on tomorrow by the grace of the Almighty God. And I'm Johnson Melebonkula. Sorry, we on the call, and we have to be here with all of the situation. But thanks to the team, thanks to Oni Usuma Rabas, thanks to Liability, and also thanks to Sekou Kane and the rest of the team. Good night.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. Blessing that time and that effort are rest. The process of giving the care, the promise of them. So welcome my life with African.
I lyrical
Master.
Play Paris, who make you, I can't ask it if you been you. Say my journey, Tina can I say my yamu. And yes, I know money, the more I know. And you love me, the more I know.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
And I dine ya to money, and I salia ya to money, and I wanna play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I dine ya to money, and I salia ya to money, and I wanna play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I forget na ya to money. That's the baby, and I forget na. Cause you walk on my ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lopa and grand bazaar.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and out part of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to serve. The flesh, the time and the efforts are rare. The broadcast we giving are real and the promise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from River Sass, River G to Chile, from Cancun, Bombay, Cape Mount, Montserrat, San to Bacalu, from Maryland, Punk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.